G'day, folks. This week we've seen the June release of Prime Ecosystem. As you can see on the right-hand side of my screen, I've got a bit of a listing of some of the sections that have had updates to them this month. So we've got WHS updates. There's a new WH dashboard in your jobs. I'll show you that in a second. Got some material selection updates, which I'll also show you. Some predefined item updates, company documents. Job registration share links can now be themed. There's a reserve update, policy contact type update, and some history updates. As per usual, Prime have updated their release notes in the Prime Support Center, so you can jump into your Prime, go to the Support Center, and you'll get the full lowdown on all these updates. But I'm just going to give you a quick tour of some of the updates that I think might be relevant to our TradiePad customers. So firstly, the WHS dashboard I mentioned, you'll find in your job. So if you scroll down the job menu, you'll now see a WHS entry in the WHS section. And when you load that up, you'll see that there's a default dashboard that loads, which gives you your job dates, your work orders on the job, and your WHS items, your attendance, and your site documents. Alongside that, at the top, you get a separate site documents tab, attendance tab, and compliance tab, so you can see all your compliance in one place. With your site documents, if you upload, say, a SWIMS document, you can mark it as a SWIMS document. And with regard to your attendance records, you can now set up a share link, which theoretically you could create the share link, and clients could then post a QR code of the share link at the site office. Visitors can scan it, and they can then view the attendance summary or sign in and out of the site. So pretty useful update if you're using the WHS component of Prime. With regard to material selection, if we go into our estimates on the job, I've got an estimate that's open here, and we can see that there's some items that I've put into the estimate. We now have the option to request material selection. So here's an entry for bathroom cabinet and vanities, sorry. If we want the customer to make some kind of selection of which cabinet and which vanity, we can mark that as material selection required. We then need to lock and authorize the items. And when we do, you'll see that there's a material selection tab, and we might need to reload this, but any items that we've pushed through for material selection to the customer will appear in that material selection tab. Just wait for the system to reload. There we go. So there's my item. So from here, we can obviously set up a share link, send that off to the customer. They can annotate their material selections and where they're getting it from and how much they're going to cost. And when they then submit from that share link, you then have the option to add notes and decline or approve their entries from the material selection tab. So that's the material selection update. With regard to predefined items, you can now make them active or inactive. So if I just go and find my items, here they are. So here's my list of predefined items. And we'll see a little slider along the right there. And if you switch that off, you'll see that you're marking it as inactive. So if I say yes, that air conditioning test item is now inactive. So alongside being able to mark things as active or inactive, any inactive items that currently are sitting in recipes will disappear from those recipes. So it automatically handles that for you. But the other thing you can do, if you go to resources and you go to bulk update and locate predefined items there, they are planning on allowing you to update more things down the track. But right now, all you can do is take, say, active and change it to inactive across all of your items. So when you look at your items, you can see that there's a bunch of inactive items, and you can do a bulk update against them and switch them over to active or switch them back the other way. Final thing I wanted to point out today was, actually there's a couple more things, but you do have, well, need to go back into admin. if we go to our company documents, you may or may not be aware you can add version documents into your company documents library. And what you can now do is, in a similar way to overriding, you can link company documents to either a client, workflow, region, or any of the other typical override fields. That way, when you're going to say, when you're sending an email and you add an attachment, if the job is in a specific region that this document is linked to, the system will automatically filter the company document lists when you go to attach or search for a company document so that you're only seeing company documents available in that region. So that's a pretty cool change. And finally, your job registration share links can now be themed. So this is really useful if you're using multiple divisions or multiple companies with your Prime. So if you go into your job settings, which I'll just quickly locate, they're down here somewhere. There they are. You'll see we now have a share link themes tab. So you can create a share link theme. I've created one here called TradiePad. Initially, what you do is pick a background color and then save. And then once you do that, you can add a logo. So any job registration share links you push out of the system will now be themed accordingly. And you can pick the theme when you send the share link. So they're just a few updates that were released in the June update of Prime Ecosystem. And I'll probably catch you guys again next month.